welcome. Today I have a fun Halloween art card. Goes for my ring journal. I start with a 3.5 by 5 inch piece of Bristol Smooth, and I'm going to be using this stencil. I think I got it from Simon Says Stamp. I think it's, well, I'll have it listed in the comment. I'm blanking on her name. Very popular woman. I don't know. I just can't think of her name. Anyways, I'll have it listed in the comments. And I thought it might look like, I don't know what I thought, but I kind of wanted it to look fun. And I thought this might help it look fun. So I'm using some white texture paste, and just kind of going probably 3/4 of the way down. It actually kind of looks when you're done that it goes all the way down, but it really doesn't. It goes like 3/4 of the way down. And but you can do it however you want. So I'm just kind of filling it in. Smoothing it out a little bit. And that will go in a tub of water. And before it dries, I'm going to be adding some seedless preserves embossing glaze, because I want it to be a color. And to get it to stay on, you've got to do it while it's wet. Now, I did get some in between there, and for me, I really don't care. I mean, I might take a couple clumpies off that are, but if there's just little bits of it, it's okay by me. I didn't use my anti-static bag, which I forget about it half the time and regret it half the time. So that has to dry, which it has now. And then I can use my embossing gun. You don't want to try to emboss it before it's dry, because it will, unless you like a bubbled look, but it will kind of bubble up. Sometimes it will deflate then again, but it won't be as flat as what it was when you went through and wiped it on with this on the stencil. So just realize that, and you know, and if you like that look, then great. So then I'm going to add some more distress ink. I don't want a white background. I'm going to use pumice stone to just, and I'm going to go right over the texture paste. And the glaze, it could sit on the glaze, but you can wipe that off the glaze if you find that there's some sitting on top of it. And also it's kind of going through, and if there's any white left of the texture paste, you're kind of, you know, adding gray to that as well. I'm going to be doing some wilted violet down below. That's right, that's the name of it, wilted violet, yes. And you're not going to see a whole lot of that. It's very little, so if you don't have that, don't worry about it. I would just go gray all the way down then if you don't have it. You could maybe use orange. I'm going to add a little bit of scorched timber to my edges just because the seedless preserves is pretty dark and I just want a dark edge. I'm not bringing it in any, just around the edge. And I'm going to start working on what I'm going to put on top. I have some digital downloads. The flower is one, and then the funny looking ravens are another, and I'll have the links to those in the description. I print my digital downloads. I buy them off Etsy and I print them on 90-pound white cardstock and fussy cut everything out. So I'm just kind of laying things out, seeing how I want them to go. And I decided I wanted a moon in the backdrop, so I'm using Tim Holtz Moon Mask Stencil. I really love this stencil. Comes in 3 different sizes of moon masks. You get the blank, which you can cut around, or you can ink around to give a shaded moon where it's not on top, but it's part of the background. And then you put the stencil with the moon shapes on top of it. This is the medium size. There's a smaller one and a larger one. And you can move that stencil around like I'm doing here. It's like, oh, I wanted more moon face in other places, so I just move it around. And that's just going to be a backdrop for the ravens. I'm going to give everything but the moon. I'm going to go around it with some vintage photo just so there's not any white edges. And the flower, as you can see, I cut in half, and I'm just going to have it going across the bottom. And I break my rule here of starting from the back and going forward. I don't know what I was thinking, actually, because I have to then lift it back away from the paper because I've glued it down and I needed to stuff my ravens back there. I actually end up cutting the feet off the ravens too, because you're not seeing them and they're just kind of bunching up down there. So I cut their feet off. And this is where I'm like, oh no, I didn't mean to glue it all down. And I was so concerned about that I do it again, because I don't leave room for the moon. I must have not had any sleep that night. And just a bit of trivia. Well, I should check to make sure I'm right, but when you have a bunch of crows, I believe it is called a murder of crows. Don't quote me on that though, but I think that's right. And now I'm gonna have to kind of lift my crows up again and slide my moon behind. And then I don't end up actually gluing my raven heads back to the moon. I don't know, I just thought that might look too flat. And the last thing I have to do is put the hole in for my ring journal, and then that will be it. If you have not subscribed, I invite you to do that. If you like this piece, give me a thumbs up or give me a comment. I'd appreciate it. And other than that, stay tuned for my final pictures. But have a great day, and I'll see you next time.